Hi everybody, it's Jamie. I have an 8.5 by 11 layout today of me and my boyfriend Max, and I also have this piece of ephemera from the little lolly box that we got from the wedding that we were at, and also a Polaroid photo from the exact same wedding. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to incorporate all of these elements together, especially in an 8.5 by 11 because it's so small. So I just kind of sit there, look at it, and I go, I definitely want some sort of light element to it. So I grab out this pink tissue paper that I have from my stash, and I'm just going to cover that both photos together so that they have something kind of tying them together. I really like to do this with multiple photo layouts so that they both don't look too opposite to each other. So I'm just going to use some double-sided tape, my standard double-sided tape just from Kmart. It's the best one that I have, and it's the cheapest one. So I'm going to stick this down. I think this double-sided tape actually came from a present from ages ago. So hot tip there. If you ever get tissue paper in a present, keep it. And if anyone's ever given me tissue paper present, I've probably kept it and I've probably used it. Anyway, so I'm going to stick them both down using this pale pink one. I was initially thinking about going with sort of a navy blue because I have a navy blue jumpsuit on and Max has a navy blue tie on. But I really don't have a lot of navy blue anything. I love the colour navy blue, but I just don't have any of it. And I thought, you know what, pale pink, because that's love. I don't know. Oh, here we go. So cutting it out, as you can see, I was kind of considering not doing a mixed media layout. I did want this to be very clean, but I just kind of got stuck and I was staring at it for about 5 minutes trying to figure out what I was going to do, and I do end up doing some mixed media, but I also have another layout coming up, probably not next week, the week after, of us at another wedding. That was 2 weeks earlier, and that one I'm going to challenge myself not to do mixed media, so stay tuned for that if you want to see me doing a non-mixed media layout. Next week I'll be back to doing Project Life. I just hadn't had my photos printed yet. So I'm grabbing out some packaging. This is just some packaging from a random piece of paper. I'm also grabbing out some Dilutions ink. I think this is rose quartz, and I'm also getting some water. So I'm going to spray a little bit of water in the packaging, then spray one spritz, and I'm also spraying a little bit of water on the cardstock. And then I stick it down, and it fell nowhere near where I wanted. And I'm going to be honest, this was just way more mixed media than I was hoping for, way more ink than I was hoping for. So I'm just going to go around and I try and even it out, and I make it work in the end, just, you know, little happy accidents that we have when we're doing mixed media. So I'm just dabbing up all of the excess, and it's not showing up very well on camera, but it's a lot lighter. So if you can see here, I'm just shaking my hand above it. I'm using a bit of water and I'm dabbing it on there in little droplets, and then I'm going to let that sit for a moment and pick it back up. If you don't know, Dilutions ink reacts with water even when it's dry. So it will reactivate the ink and then you'll be able to pick it back up. So this is what I'm doing right here, and it's a bit hard to tell, but you can see how it's sort of mottled or bleached, and that's the effect that I was going for because I wanted it more white. And I'm flipping it around, trying to figure out how I'm going to reposition this layout now due to the mixed media being way bigger than what I was expecting it to be. And I ended up just settling with it there because I knew I wanted a cluster kind of above the Polaroid, and I was going to have my title below the layout kind of off to the center. So here I'm going to get my embellishments. So I grab a giant bag of embellishments. This is how I keep my ephemera. It's not the prettiest way, but it's the cheapest and it's the most effective. I had it color sorted and I didn't like it, so I took it back and I sort of back everything into collections, which I'm fine with mixing collections together. I just like to have them together in case I really want to do a collection-based layout. So here I'm just grabbing paper pad, and I wanted a plain black one because I wanted to tie in the black from his suit and also the black of the Polaroid. The Polaroid photo is pretty much just us with a black background. Every Polaroid I've actually ever taken kind of does that, especially at nighttime. So I wanted to tie in the black and I needed another black element. So I'm going to stick this down with some double-sided tape. Because I already have one whole mat on both photos, I'm going to sort of do an off to the side thing, which I do like doing when I'm doing my layering. It's really hard to explain layering. Every single time I listen to people do layering and they're explaining what they're doing, I don't know what I do. I just see it and I go, oh, this color will look good, I'll stick it on the back. So I'm also going to use that black again to tie together the two photos, but this one I'm going to mat it the whole way around. And I'm pretty sure this is the last mat that I do for this photo. And I also put that photo on some double-sided tape because I really wanted to make it pop. And I like this photo a lot better. The other one's actually quite blurry. It printed really blurry. I'm not sure why. I'm going to re-look at the photo and make sure it's not that blurry, or it may just have been a misprint error and I might go get it reprinted. I also might not. I also use this paper as well. All of the papers that I've used are from the Reject store. I think this collection is actually still available if you're in Australia and you'd love to check it out. They do have some really great papers. They're thinner than, your standard American Crafts, Pink Paisley, that sort of stuff. But they are really pretty. And if you're on a budget, then they're great. So I'm just lifting this up just to glue down a little bit more. I always use double-sided tape for my paper layers because I find it easier to position it, and because obviously it is completely dry, you don't have to wait for it to dry. You can do it straight away. Now, because I'm putting it onto mixed media, I'm going to use some wet glue to glue them down. It was really hard to get this glue out. The bottle was pretty full. I think the nib is just starting to go. I might have to cut off the end and try and make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to stick that down right there. I also put a little bit of wet glue on the back of the foam tape because I don't trust foam tape at all. It falls off all the time. I normally, even if I'm sticking it onto just plain paper, I always use either wet glue or some extra double-sided tape, just because foam tape, I don't trust it. I don't trust anything foam. I double stick all of that sort of stuff. So I'm grabbing out this ephemera pack, and I do cut out it because I thought I did. I do go through the entire pack. There we go, I've cut out there. I went through the whole pack and I only found, I think, one thing that I liked. So I was thinking of a title and I thought I'd go with Making Memories. I wanted to go with a really big title, and I think if this was a 12 by 12, I would have. I was thinking like, let's create memories together, something like that. But it wasn't going to fit, and this already is actually the back of another layout on my album, so I couldn't change the size of it. So I go with Making Memories, and I stared at this for about 5 minutes thinking, memories is not spelled right. Like, I was just completely shook, and I didn't want to glue them down to then realize that it was spelled wrong. So I did pause the video and search up if it was spelled right, and it was spelled right. I wasn't freaking out. I think it's just the way that the font is really kind of threw me. So I'm using just this packaging, the side of it, to sort of line it up. I do this when I'm lining it up, but I also use clear one, which you'll see that I do in a moment, to position it and figure out if I like the way that it looks. I generally do this with every alphabet to see if it will fit with the layout. So I'm going to pull out that piece of cardstock in a minute because I wasn't sure where I wanted the word memories. So here I've pulled it out and I'm thinking, do I want to do it off the side? And I think I ended up repositioning. Yeah, I have. I've ended up repositioning it and making it directly line up with the word making. A lot of cutting there, guys. Sorry about that. I think it was just me gluing it down still. These foam stickers, I know I just went on a rant about how I don't trust foam. These foam stickers are actually really, really sticky. So I'm going to use the little flower that I just grabbed is from the Maggie Holmes sticker book. I'm cutting out the little white piece around this. I'm cutting out the white piece here around this embellishment because I didn't like how the white was looking. It just made it feel quite cheap, I thought, which they are cheap, but people don't need to know that they're cheap, just everybody watching this video. So I've cut that out. I do end up using this technically, but I cover it up and I only end up just using the wood grain piece. So I stick that down and then I couldn't pull it back up. So I did kind of rip the flower a little bit there, but you can't tell. That's fine. So I'm going to stick that down with a double-sided tape, and I just go embellishment crazy from now on. I was still thinking the whole time, where am I going to fit that? Here it is. Where am I going to fit that little chip? So it says with love and thanks, and it was on a jar of boiled lilies. They were delicious. They were so nice. And I wanted to include that. I thought it'd be really nice. There was a giant white border again around this, so I cut that off and just left a little bit of the black. I also liked how it was black writing, so you could tie it in. I was thinking about adding it sort of down the bottom or to the side, but I didn't like it, and I do end up covering that sort of, I think it looks like a trunk, a piece of wood. I do end up covering that with this. So here I am adding some double-sided tape to that, and I just used a sticker and I added under the letter M to sort of tie it in together, and I ended up deciding that I sort of want to go with a little diagonal embellishment. I actually really like using this sort of technique because it draws your eye through the layout. So I'm grabbing some pink little hearts. They are from eBay, and that little bow sticker that not really showing up on camera very well is from the Maggie Holmes sticker book. So I do end up sticking it right there. I thought it tied in the white really well of the Polaroid. I was considering cutting the Polaroid down, but I was worried that it was going to really affect the photo. I had it like that it would peel off, because if you've never seen one, on the back of it, it's kind of like a puffy sort of film, and I figured if I cut it, it would wreck. So that is the ribbon that I was just trying to flick around because I wanted to cover those two holes. And I tried with that bow there, but I just don't like it. It was just too fake for me. I kind of just move on for a bit. That was a gold heart, but it was clashing way too much with the copper. And now I'm trying to make this little arrow work, and it doesn't end up going on there, and I just stick the stars on there. At this point, I was just kind of overwhelming myself because I really wanted this to be quite pretty, because we don't often take that many photos together because we really only take them when we're at events. This pen, oh my gosh, it took me 5 minutes to put a border around this page because the pen just wouldn't work, and I'm not sure why. I have now replaced it and it's working perfectly fine. So I actually cut out this whole section, so you'll suddenly see something's with my voice. You will suddenly see that the whole thing has a border. Oh, I thought I'd cut it out. Obviously not. Okay. Well, there's a beginning. You can just sit here and watch me slowly draw a line everywhere. Anyway, oh no, I bet you I've cut the wrong thing out. Oh, well, we'll see. Anyway, I have replaced this pen now. I think it was just on the way out. I've used it later in other times, but for some reason it just didn't work. Anyway, I'm grabbing out some wood veneer from my stash. These are from eBay, and they're little hearts that say love. And I'm going to stick those down with some wet glue. I always use wet glue when sticking any wood veneer, resin piece. I think acrylic pieces. I haven't used too many acrylic pieces because you don't find them very often. At least I have never found them very often here in Australia. I always use wet glue with them. I think acrylic pieces, some wet glue reacts weirdly with them, and I've heard people say I think it's red line tape works the best with them. But any sort of heavy duty embellishment, I would say I always use wet glue. These are little epoxy enamel stickers that I got off of eBay, and I'm sticking them around just to kind of add really delicate elements to it. This layout I still feel kind of is missing something, so I'm going to add these tiny word stickers from the book. I think it says, "This is my happy place," something along those lines, you know, those cute little things that Maggie always has. Yeah, I still feel like this layout is missing something, but I don't leave layouts uncompleted. It's completed enough, so it's in the album, it's staying there. I'm never going to take it out and complete it, but it's completed. I just feel like it's missing something. So here I am sticking some they're like word phrase cutouts from the rejects drawer from my pack. They're actually really good with adding those, and I love them because the colours coordinate perfectly with the paper. So it's really quite nice because you're having cardstock backgrounds that match. And I was looking at that one to see if it would work, but I do like the white. So I'm grabbing some Heidi Shine, and the colour is blush, I believe. I'm just mixing that up, shaking it up. This one you don't have to mix for anywhere near as long as you do the gold. And that just adds a little bit of shine on there. And we're coming to the end of the layout here. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I'm just wiping off the thing because they're glossy photos, you can wipe it off. Here I am, I'm just thinking, tapping my fingers, trying to see if I can add anything else. I do believe I add one more little word phrase. It actually ends up on the other side, another black element to kind of tie it in. So I have the black with the background paper, the black with the outline, and then the black of the photo, and also Max's suit. So I do really like how this layout's turned out. I just feel like it's missing something. I think I wanted this layout to be perfect because I thought it'd be really nice, and those two holes are really bothering me, but oh well, I just kind of give up. Here we are at the end of the layout. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. There'll be some close-up photos at the end. Oh, I love hearts, so cute. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.